Hello, good morning, my dear students. So, welcome to the second semester portion. We'll start it today onwards. That is chemistry. In the chemistry, third chapter is atoms and molecules. Okay. So, in this chapter, we will discuss about the atoms and molecules. First, I will give the basic idea about the atoms and molecules. So, atom are a basic unit of matter. So, matter can made up of the smallest unit or a particle is known as atoms. The group of atoms are called molecules. The group of the molecules can make it to matter. Clear? So, the smallest particle of an element of a matter is known as atom. Okay? So, now I will give introduction about the atoms and molecules. Ancient Indian and Greek philosophers have always wondered about the unknown and unseen form of matter. So, here what do you mean by matter? Matter is anything which occupies the space and has mass. So, this matter is made up of a very smallest particle or undivisible particle is known as atom. Okay. Next, the idea of divisibility of matter was considered long back in India around 500 BC. An Indian philosopher Maharshi Kanada postulated that if we go on dividing matter or padarth, in the Sanskrit word padarth, we shall get a smaller and smaller particle. Ultimate a stage will come when we shall come across the smallest particle behind which further division will not be possible, and he named that these particles nothing but paramanu or an atom. So, next they are named that paramanu. So, the paramanu is the nothing but, it is the Sanskrit word, paramanu is nothing but atom. Atom is a very smallest particle of an element or matter. So, is it clear? So, the group of the atoms is nothing but molecules. So, let us start that. The first aspect in this chapter is laws of chemical combination. Laws of chemical combination. There are two laws are there. Law of conservation of mass and next law of constant proportions. So, these 2 points today we will discuss. Okay. Are you ready for this listening? Okay, fine. So, laws of chemical combination. In this law of chemical combination, first law is law of conservation of mass. So, this statement has given mass can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. So, is it clear? So, mass can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. So, in a chemical reaction we observe that, so two types of the substances are there in left hand and right hand side, those are called reactants and products. So, before reaction or before reacting, those substances are called reactants. After reacting, the new things will form, those are called products. Okay. So, in this chemical reaction, so mass can neither be created nor destroyed. So, is it clear this one? Okay, fine. This means that during a chemical reaction, the sum of the masses of the reactants and products remain unchanged. So, how much masses of the reactants are there before the reaction? So, after product, so it give that same masses, the same masses in the products also remain unchanged. It means that, so in the chemical reaction we observed. So for example, C plus O2, C plus O2 is there, it give rise to CO2. So C plus O2 are nothing but reactants and CO2 is the product. So compared to these things, reactant products, so there is no changes of the masses. The sum of the masses of the reactants and products remain unchanged. So we can see related one activity related to the one activity of law of conservation of mass. So take some sodium sulfate. So formula of sodium sulfate is Na2SO4 in a conical flask and some barium chloride BaCl2 solution in an ignition tube, otherwise you take a small test tube, 10 ml test tube. So that test tube, hang the ignition tube or test tube in the flask by a thread and put a cork on the flask. Find the mass of the flask on a balance. So now which are the chemicals we have taken? So sodium sulfate is in the conical flask and barium chloride is in the ignition tube or small test tube. That test tube is hang in the conical flask along with the thread and close their mouth, conical flask mouth with the help of the cork. Now you can weigh or you can balance these two things. So we can get it approximately here. So 300.23 gram before reacting. These are two are the reactants. What are those? Sodium sulfate and barium chloride. So these two are the reactants. So next, after weighing, we confirm that the masses of these two things are included 300.23 gram. Okay. So now what we have to do? So then tilt the flask. Tilt the flask. A chemical reaction takes place between sodium chloride and barium sulfate are formed. So after reaction, so this sodium sulfate and barium chloride, so it forms that new products, those are the sodium chloride and barium sulfate are formed. Then this mixture in the beaker, so leave 10 minutes, leave here 10 minutes, then find the masses of the flask again. It will be seen that the sum of the masses of the reactants and products remain unchanged. So again we can get it to 300.23 gram. It means that here the masses can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. So I will give here chemical reaction equation. So here Na2SO4 plus BaCl2, it give rise to NaCl and along with BaSO4. So these are the reactants and products takes place in the chemical reaction, and lastly we can get it to the sum of the masses of the reactants and products remain unchanged. Is it clear? Okay, fine. Next we can see second law. See here second law of constant proportions. Okay, it states that in a chemical compound, the elements are always present in a definite proportion by masses. So I will give one example here. Water is there. What is the formula of water? H2O. Always containing two elements, hydrogen and oxygen combined together in the same ratio of 2:16. So what is the mass of the hydrogen? 1. But here in the formula 2 hydrogens are there, means 1 into 2, 2. Is it clear? And what is the mass of the oxygen here? 16 are there. So 2:16. Then you can divide 2 by 16. 1:8 by mass. If gram If 9 gram of water is decomposed, we get 1 gram of hydrogen and 8 gram of oxygen. So it means that 1 is to 8 mass of the definite proportion is combined in the water. Another example, ammonia is there. Formula of ammonia is NH3, always containing 2 elements, nitrogen and hydrogen combined together in the same ratio of 14.3 by mass. So just you can follow here, water molecule is there, hydrogen, how many are there here? 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. So they are combined with each other and it forms that ratio 1 is to 8, and ammonia has a NH3, only 1 nitrogen is there, but how many nitrogens are there here? So 3 are there. So what is the atomic mass number of nitrogen is 14 and atomic mass number of hydrogen is 1, but hydrogen how many are there here? 3 are there, and then 3 into 1 is equal to 3, and how many atom of nitrogen is there? Only 1 is there, and 14 on 14. The ratio of the this ammonia is 14 is to 3 by mass. So by observing this figure, we have confirmed that, so here law of constant proportion means in a chemical compound the element are always present in a definite proportion by mass. So one more clue I will give here. You said that water. So what do you mean by water? Water is a compound. It is made up of 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of the oxygen. So now I will say the definition of compound here. 2 or more elements are combined in a chemically by definite proportion, and along with their masses, then it is the suitable or good example for the law of constant of proportion. So is it clear, my dear students? Very good. Next, new aspect is there, that is Dalton's atomic theory. Okay, so he has postulated that 6 points are there. First point is matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms. Who said? Dalton's in his atomic theory. So here atoms means here matter are there. These are all the matters which are seen on the earth surface. Those all matters can be made up of a tiny particles or the tiny particles called atoms. Clear? First postulate or statement. Okay. Atoms are indivisible and cannot be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction. So we can get it to very smallest or very tiny particle. That particle will not divisible. It is a indivisible particle. That much of tiny particle we can get in the chemical reaction or in the matter or in the element or in the matter. So this atom is cannot be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction. Okay. Next, third point, atoms of a given element are similar in mass and properties. Atoms of a given elements are similar in mass and properties. For example, here water is there, H2O. So hydrogen is made up of hydrogen atoms only. Oxygen is made up of oxygen atoms only. So we can say that a pure element and having the similar masses in the compounding state. Atoms of different elements have different masses and properties. So example again you go through here, sodium chloride is there. So sodium chloride properties are different from the chlorine, and chlorine properties are different from the sodium, and having the different mass also. So sodium has that 23 mass and chlorine has 35.5. So these are the different masses and different properties are having different kinds of elements. So atoms combine in small whole number ratio to form the compound. So just I told 1:8 water and 14:3 in the ammonia. In a given compound, the relative number and kind atoms are constant in a given compound. So compound means it is made up of two or more elements in a definite proportion. The relative number and kind atoms are constant. Their numbers are constant. There is no change in the compounds. So clear all these 6 postulates which are given by Dalton's in his atomic theory. So I think you are understanding very easily. Okay. So next point. Okay, atom. An atom is the smallest particle of an element that may or may not exist independently and retain all its chemical properties. So here atom is the smallest particle we know of an element that may or may not exist independently. They may be or may not exist independently and retain all its chemical property, remaining all the chemical properties same in the atoms. So atoms are very small in size and smaller than anything we can imagine or compare with. The atomic radius is measured in the nanometer or nm. 1 nanometer is equal to 10 to the power of minus 9 or 1 meter is equal to 10 to the power of 9 nanometer. So example, the atomic radius of atom of hydrogen is 10 to the power of minus 10 meter. The radius of a molecule of water is 10 to the power of minus 9 meter. So here given the picture, the smallest particle of or the tiny particle of the atom. So remaining points we will discuss in the next point. So thank you my dear student. Sharanu Sharanarthigalu.